Howdy doogly. Howdy doogly.
Hey guys!
Yes, welcome back. Your very much.
Presence is
Lovely to be here. I was saying to Tolu earlier that I'm very nervous.
You're
I don't know.
nervous?
Nervous?
Why?
Don't be nervous, girl.
I don't like being in front of the camera.
Pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
And it's not there.
Are we live on Instagram as well? Yes. I'm
Hi,
trying to check here. We're going to
everyone.
make sure that we can see your comments on Instagram as well, guys. Hello, Miss Cuckoo. Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing? Right?
So we've lost signal on you.
How is
But
everyone?
I think that
coping
you
with
guys can still hear us.
Storm Eunice. Is everyone
Tolu.
okay?
We're back.
Are here, so we're starting. Sorry, apologies for the late start. As you can imagine, when you're going live, things are, it is all technical. You should see our setup right now, seriously. But we know that last time we forgot to do intro. Even right now, sorry, I was about to start doing intro, but we are trying to get it popping, guys.
Wait for everyone to be
We're trying to get it popping.
What we should do. No. We'll wait for everyone to be seated. But we were having a conversation about Love is Blind earlier.
Oh,
Let's just do that. Let's just debrief a little bit.
We should
Guys.
talk about Shayna.
Oh yeah.
And the enemy of progress,
Nick.
Shayna.
Is it Nick?
Kyle.
Shayna
Wait,
and
who?
Kyle.
Shayna, because
Shayna, who said that
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
because that
He's
that
not-
he's not a Christian, that she
Please.
can't, that he's an atheist. I was like,
Oh,
and
please.
Kyle didn't even know that this was the thing. So Shayna,
But he did.
Wait,
but
did
she
you-
was
did
just like,
you?
oh, well.
not
We'll
before,
work
not but
through
but
it.
not before they left the, not
No,
until
they
the
knew.
until
They had a conversation in the
In the
pod.
pod.
But that was just as he was going to, just before he proposed, though. No, it was not
Yeah.
not the first thing that she said
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him.
true.
No.
So
yeah.
dude was like ready to propose, and then she was like, "Oh, by the way, are you a Christian? Like, do you go to
Christian,
church?"
yeah.
And this is,
Do you know what I found really funny when he went to visit her parents and her
Oh
dad
my
was
God.
like, "Are you a godly man?" And he was like,
And he was
"What?"
like, what is that?
what is
I
a
was like,
what? Like, do you believe in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior?
That was so
It was
awkward.
so
He was like,
weird.
and then he said, "Oh, I thought you said, am I a godly man?"
Yeah,
That is what I said.
You heard me right.
That's what that means.
What does that even mean?
Bad. Shayna.
Oh no, she just doesn't like him. That's
She
the truth of
doesn't
the
like
matter.
him.
Gone
Like
off
whether
YouTube.
he's Christian or not, it just doesn't matter.
Because I don't remember her having loads of conversations with,
With
Shane,
exactly.
about
It's
whether
an
or not
excuse.
Shane
It's an
is
excuse. The
a
girl-
godly man.
Basically, Kyle was her rebound because she had just told Shane, I've got deep feelings for you.
Yeah.
She went to Kyle, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Oh, I'm not. Oh, we'll figure it out. And then when they saw each other for the first time, you could just tell that, she did not
She
find him
just wanted a
attractive.
ring on her finger,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
She wanted
yep,
that
yep.
ring.
I feel like that's the pressure of the show as well. Like, even if it's
Yeah.
not what you want, you just go for it just
Honestly,
to see.
Yeah.
And
like this
To
the
be fair,
experiment.
you don't get any more TV time if
Yeah,
you
if you
literally
don't
don't get
couple up.
engaged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all this when that she was, oh sorry, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah. We
Sorry.
really didn't warn people about that.
Sorry.
Spoiler. But yeah, no, she was really, and she turned into a real mean girl. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow. But let's not even only put it on her. Excuse me, Kyle. Are you really just like not even
I would
understanding?
expect that from him. You know,
He
he's
really
not
doesn't
religious.
understand. He's not religious
so he
at all.
doesn't see it as a thing.
And it
So-
seems like he was at one point, maybe he wasn't ever really. Maybe go with the flow when he was growing up. Because I know atheists who still can be like, you know what, I get it. I get why you as a religious person,
Yeah.
why this would be a big deal for you.
Yeah.
He has really just been like, It doesn't matter. Like, it's okay. We can work it out. This isn't a deal breaker for me. I'm like, of course it's not a deal breaker for you because you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's not a big deal to him.
it doesn't.
But Shayna, I just think she's out here lying. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you said, she did not have these deep religious
didn't.
discussions with
Or
Shane.
maybe she did and they
She
just
did
didn't
not.
air it.
That's
All
true.
she discussed
but-
with Shane was, what you
Wearing.
wearing?
What you
I'm
wearing?
wearing this crop top.
But also, like, actually on the beach, they had like they made a sneaky
did
comment
make
that
a
was
comment.
like, he's not a Christian. That was never gonna work.
Yes.
One of them did that. Actually say that.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
well done holding the
Okay,
fort,
okay.
guys. Well done holding. I was gonna try and jump in on the gist, but like, I don't really know what you guys are talking about, so I couldn't really
Why are you
get in
acting
on
like you
it.
don't watch Love Is Blind?
My
watches Love
wife
is Blind.
and mother watch Love Is Blind,
Oh,
and I'm
right.
in the room at the same
Okay.
time
It's a lie.
with them when they're
It's a
doing
lie.
that.
He watches it and he loves it.
Should we swap?
Instagram live, people. Sorry, you're only going to.
As long as it's up, it's working.
Sorry,
We
okay,
don't
so
know.
I've seen the bars moving, so I'm like, that's enough for us to know.
Guys, teething
1 second.
issues.
Instagram live, people. You're not going to be able to see anything but maybe Tolu's hands, and you're only going to be able to hear Tolu's voice and Dwayne's voice.
Yeah.
But they are here. If you want to see their faces, switch over to YouTube.
Welcome everyone. Let us get into this. Thank you guys for bearing with us. Whoever is out there listening, if there is anyone, welcome.
Yeah, we've got people listening.
There's people here.
We've
Tuned
got
in.
packed conversation today.
We do indeed.
We took feedback from last week,
Excited.
and we're gonna try and make it a bit shorter. We got feedback that 2 hours is a little too long. We were really vibing, enjoying the conversation, but we don't want people like dipping in and out too much. So we're gonna make it like an hour to an hour and a half. But we've got really, really, really like punchy, structured content. I'm really excited for this one. So today we are gonna be talking about first off, we're going to be talking about what does working for God look like? What does serving God actually mean?
Yes.
We'll come on to that. And then in the second half, we're going to be talking about what is our most valuable resource in serving? What is your most valuable asset? So those are the types of things we're going to be talking about. Look forward to it. But before we start that, let's do some introductions. I'm Tolu. I don't need to say my surname, right? That's too formal. I'll just say I'm Tolu.
Not necessary, bro. You're good.
To the left of me, we have.
It's Dwayne.
Oh,
And only.
Oh,
I knew I was gonna do that.
Dwayne, are you
couldn't
gonna
just
try and
say
speak
Dwayne.
into the microphone
Say
today?
Dwayne.
your fans.
I'm all in the microphone today. You guys wanna hear this voice, this sweet voice.
All right, okay.
wow.
All
Why
right.
are you
Let
taking an
me
entire
move
5
on.
minutes?
On the end there, we've got the lovely.
Tade, Coco Divine. Who's
ever called her Tade?
Ever called you Tade?
I actually really like being called Tade.
But who calls you Tade?
People call me Tade. People who love me call me Tade.
I love you. I ain't never called you Tade. What is this?
The shade.
You've never introduced yourself as Tade.
Tad's fine. Everybody calls me Tad.
Tads, I know.
I
Tads-
mean, I would like. I don't. I'm just putting it out there that I don't mind being called Tade.
I'm not
Tade
switching it up.
sounds.
We
Tade
can
sounds a bit
adjust.
more like exotic than Tads. Like Tade, like sounds. Tade, yeah, like hey Tade,
Tade.
Tad sounds like too much of a nickname. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
You know, like Tad's like, hey Tad, what's up, homie? Tad's, but hey Tade.
What is happening? Like I'm saying,
All right,
Coco
right.
Divine
You
or
introduce
whatever.
yourself. You didn't see her last week. For those of you who were watching,
Yes.
she's back. She's
the
back.
one and only.
The one and only.
Hi guys, it's Rachel.
Welcome back, Rachel.
Rachel,
We
we
missed
missed
you.
you last
We actually have missed you. We did
week.
miss
Yeah.
you.
Although your presence was still felt in the comments, and you know,
A bit,
you were still
like,
here.
A lot
felt
of,
good
a lot
to
of
be able to-
antagonism.
Yeah,
coming
that's
from
what.
the
Yeah,
comments.
good. It
Yeah,
felt
a
really
lot
good.
of-
And it's not directed at you.
A lot of
Tommy.
hate. A lot of hate coming through the comments. I won't lie.
I loved it.
Ooh, okay. And finally, we've got
Hi guys, it's Bim.
Bim.
Bimarie. Oh, sorry.
Bimarie. Oh, but
doing
Bimarie
first
be
names.
music.
Okay,
That's a
Bimarie
thing. That's a
music.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
That
Can
is
we
a
not
thing.
bring?
That is a
My
thing.
mic is very low. It's low. Let's
Oh, his
He's
fans
trying
have
to
told
do
him.
sexy voice. That's what. That's why. That's why.
Dwayne's fans have told him that his mic is low.
Your
The wife's like, make sure they don't get my husband. Make sure they don't stop my husband from being heard.
Number one
Bruh,
fan. I
Pam,
love
Pam,
it.
is
I
that
love
what it's
it.
like? Yeah. Wow, Pam, how do I sound? You know, we're friends too. You know, jeez.
Oh wait, hold on. Your mic is bare low. Tolu's is bare loud.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Turn me down a little bit. All right, guys, we don't have too much time. We already started a bit late. I really want to get into the conversation. So let's start with that question. Keep it nice and simple and ambiguous. What do we think serving God means or looks like? In the comment section, guys, please, we really want to hear your thoughts as well. So let us know what you think. What does serving God look like? Who wants to start?
I'll go, but not necessarily with my view. But I think it's important to address sort of what we've grown up with.
Yeah.
So growing up, I think most of us have grown up in like Pentecostal vibe, where serving God is about serving within the church and picking a department to work in and going to workers' meetings and getting to church on time. And that's what we've grown up with, and that's sort of like it's what you can do within the establishment of a church, really. That's not what I think serving God looks like.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a good point to start with, because like I've heard it like that used synonymously. Serving God means working in the church, or volunteering in the church, and so like what are people's views on that specifically? Anyone?
I think
I've thrown a question out to a few people today.
Okay.
A couple.
Okay.
I was
Dane was out here
every now and again. I keep on having like. Here I'm gonna have to be like this. You know?
Put it back. It's not a good look.
No. Yeah, so no, I've thrown the question out to a couple of people today, regarding what they think. Like, what was the question? Is
Serving God.
Serving God. Like, what
You've been
is
asking
serving
the
God?
question, but you don't know what the question is.
You know how it is. But yeah, it's so a lot of people are saying that it is literally just the love. It's like showing that your love, that the love that you have for God and His way is the way that they portray it. So people should be able to see that you are serving God by the way that you act.
So it's just like an everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Everyday
Yeah.
life.
You're walking down the street, you see someone, boom, that's an act of kindness which leads directly to God. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's be fair to like the general establishment. I think everybody, even people in church, agree that too. But there is this specific
There's a
term,
group,
serving God, to mean working in the church.
Become a
yeah.
deacon, become an
But
elder,
like, I don't
someone.
think any, like, not to be sinister, I don't think any church person would disagree with what Dwayne just said as
No,
well.
no,
It's
yeah.
just that, like, you know, the thing that we specifically get, like, the only option for serving God is that's the only thing presented as the option. Were you about to say something before, Tim?
I was pretty much going to say what Dwayne was saying, that it's much broader than, you know, the four walls of a church.
100%.
Like, serving God first of all, it starts with the individual, and like with your relationship with God, you serve God in your everyday interaction. So at home, at work, at school, in your business, at church. Like, church should be no different to how you would act towards someone in your everyday life. So I think serving God goes much broader than that. Like, you can serve God in your school as a teacher. That is also classed as serving God. It's not just being a deacon or a minister. So yeah,
But do you guys think that all Christians who are part of a church should one day serve?
As in the traditional.
Yeah.
sense.
So not the only thing you do.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that other stuff. But if you are in a church, do you think that like you should not just be a member of a church coming on Sunday? You should also kind of participate.
I mean, I think that if you want to, I feel like Are there even enough positions for everybody?
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
Everybody can't be in a
everybody
choir.
can go
Everybody can't
everybody
be.
can go evangelizing
Everyone
should
afterwards.
not be in the
Everybody's
choir.
like, you know,
They're
like
constantly looking
everybody.
for home fellowship. Look at you acting like there's not enough work. Every church I know is constantly looking. If you want to open up a home
Some
group,
people are happy to just go and be, you know, members. I think that if you can, I mean, it's not it. I feel like serving in church serves another purpose other than you serving God. You know, I think that it's more so. It's kind of a community as well, right? So, for example, I'm in choir, and it's nice to have like my choir peeps. You know, a lot of my closest friends were because we were also in choir together. You know what I mean? We go out. We're interested in the same things. That works with choir. I'm not sure if well, probably ushers might be the same as well. And any other group, it helps you to be a part
choir's
of.
the
Like, what are you doing as an usher outside of
If you want
church?
to be part of the cool gang, join the choir. Who's going for dinner as an usher?
Like,
The ushers do not hang out. Come on, man. Like, that's the lamest job in the church. Sorry.
It's
Can
not
you not?
the lamest
Can you
job
not?
in
Can you
church.
not?
Are you the usher?
That is Tolu.
My bad. No, I'm joking.
That's all Tolu, guys.
No. Oh, wait.
But-
Quick segue. What's your favorite job? Like, it doesn't have to be the one that you're doing at church. What's like? I like the greeters, like the people whose job is just to say hello to you.
Really? I think mine's the BV, like a backing vocalist, where you don't have the pressure of leading, but you can just groove and
like
just
got
like.
your own little
I
vibe in
feel
the
like
back.
y'all know my favorite position.
Okay, yeah.
I
Tanya
see the on the line. It's difficult being. It's difficult.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. What were
But
you
yeah,
saying?
no, I was just saying, you know, being a worker at church in that environment is something that I think it serves more of a purpose than you being. It's a way of getting involved. You know what I mean? Because you go to the different. It's like a responsibility that you have. So for you, it might be that, you know what, for me right about now, it helps me to know that I'm involved. Everybody doesn't need to be a worker in that way to feel as though they are getting something out of it. You get what I'm saying?
But
So
I feel like, especially in like big churches, it's so easy to just get lost.
yeah, 100%.
And when you have, like, obviously you have like home groups and cells and things like that, but when you are within a department, there's a level of accountability that you then get
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
being there and
100%.
closeness that you wouldn't get.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason.
So I think that if you're not doing something else, which we're going to talk about in a minute, like, I think that should be the very least. I personally don't think that, like, as a Christian, you can just be coming to listen to a sermon. You need to be active. I don't think in church is the only way to be active.
Oh, yeah.
But I think a lot of churches are encourage the people to be quite active, and they do a lot of things in the community, blah, blah, blah. So that could be a good way to go and do it. I actually think it's really wrong, a wrong model where you just have hundreds of people, sometimes in thousands, just go every Sunday to just go and be talked to, and then they go home. And then they come
Feel
back
like they've
and
had their
talk to.
dose.
You know, there's that, like, what's that Bible verse that says, you know, you need to grow in maturity. Like, you can't always be the one being taught.
Yeah.
At what point are you gonna like elevate and start doing something else?
Yeah.
Stop drinking milk. So I do think like the model where if there's anybody who's just going to church and just taking, I don't think that a Christian heart should be just one of taking.
Yeah.
And if all you can do is serve in church, I think go for it. You know, like I think that's like minimum, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at people serving in church, but then I now think the bit which I think we're all kind of alluding to is there's so much more
Oh, yes.
to the kingdom
Yeah.
and just the church. I think it's a critical, like, let's not even like, we need the church to be happening. I think
Yeah.
local church is a critical aspect of the kingdom. That is like, I guess that's like ground zero. That's like home base.
Oh,
you know, so we
100%,
need it.
yeah.
But I think that's just like the door, right? Like that's
Yeah.
like where people should come in.
Sorry, guys.
Everyone's eyes are just.
We keep looking over that way because we can hear the door. Like you.
Is it Evia trying to get in again?
No, I think it's the wind.
I think it's actually this
It's Eunice.
Storm Franklin.
Are you
The
serious?
storm.
Franklin, yeah.
Wait,
There's another
Is
storm.
there
There's another storm,
Oh
yeah.
my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry guys. We
That
can
storm
like
wasn't a joke, you
we
know?
can hear
Um,
rattling happening right now. We don't
Yeah,
know if
it
you
is
can
a-
hear
Yeah,
it,
it's
but we
open
can
and
hear it.
closing.
The
But
storm is
door's
literally
open
raging.
is like a little bit
Huh?
insane.
That window is open.
The window is open. I think that might.
Maybe
I'm gonna-
that's where
I'm
it's
gonna go
coming
and do
from.
some set adjustments.
Okay, definitely close that window for us. I thought someone was trying to open
I
the
thought
door.
someone was trying to open the door
Bruh,
too.
this Storm Franklin ain't ramping. I feel is it sinful to laugh at videos of people falling over when
No,
the wind is carrying them?
no, it's
You
not.
know, I saw one with a
Oh,
mother in
God.
a pram, and I laughed.
Oh
No,
no!
come on.
No, it lifted the
That's
pram
bad though.
They
That's
were fine.
bad.
The kid was an older kid. It wasn't like a baby. No,
In a pram.
not a pram, a buggy.
Yeah, same thing.
Same difference.
I chuckled. I won't lie. It was funny.
I
If that was your
Yeah, I
wife and your child, would
It
you
would
be
not be
laughing?
It would not be.
I mean,
Tollywood laugh. I think it would.
Yeah, two laughs in and yeah, no.
What were we saying? What were we saying?
I was
we were talking-
gonna
yeah,
I was
go
gonna talk to that point on it's not just about the church, it's a door, it's an entry point. I definitely feel like that should spill over into your everyday life. But I was gonna say, in answer to your question, like, should everyone be doing that? I feel like it's determined by where you are in your relationship with God, because you could also do things for the wrong reasons and for the wrong motives, and you can get into the mentality of, just work, and you're striving to be a good Christian by looking to, like, looking
100%.
oh, I'm in the choir, I'm on the ushering team, so I'm a good Christian. So your motives need to be in the right place. Your relationship, I think it plays a part into when you do eventually serve in the church. And also I feel like on the other end of this is, even if your relationship with God is good, you can get to a point where you're just going through the motions and serving, and it becomes routine. And
Absolutely.
like, I think someone even mentioned the word job. It literally becomes like another
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Like you're in there week in, week out.
Yep.
You know what to do. You know what to say, like the Christian needs
Yeah.
to say. But deep down, you could be hurting. Deep down, you could be going through something so bad. But you're still expected to show up. You're still expected to lead worship. You're still expected to direct people to their seats. So I feel like that's also something that we need to be.
And sometimes it ends up
mindful
being
of.
not with your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you don't
Absolutely.
even like doing it
So
anymore.
two
Yeah.
things. What is the right motivation? I think that's it. Let's actually explicitly say, why should you work in church?
In church.
You're building
in
the
church
body.
Yeah.
You're helping to build the body.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I feel like in doing that, you actually grow yourself, because the focus is not on you. The focus becomes, how can I be part of something bigger that will help and impact other people? So you are, in that sense, you are becoming more Christ-like, because Christ was all about ministry, right?
Because you said it's about your relationship with God. I think it should also be about your relationship with others. A lot of people only see it as, I'm doing this for me, God, but like, no, there's a community
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You're part of a
Absolutely.
community.
Yeah.
You should want to serve. This is kind of like, I feel like we shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes where we talk about like tithes and all that stuff as if it's like a burden. Like, instead of us to really grow community, because if you grow community, people won't feel burdened. Like, it's really difficult sometimes to take care of my own children, but I will do it because they're my children. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way it should be. We should be one family in church, right?
Yeah.
Don't just
Yeah.
like,
No. I
Every
hear that. I hear
position
that.
you're doing, even a choir person, you're helping people
Yeah.
to worship and to
worship,
enter the
yeah.
presence.
Yeah.
Usher is helping keep the order, and like, these are real things that we need.
Yeah.
The thing, and we shouldn't see as, I just think the way we talk about it is always just about you and God. This is how you would be for God.
Very self.
You're not doing exactly, and I'm like, no, let's make it about love for the community. Because then in that situation, I think more people will want to, out of the heart, want to come and give everything that they have to their community if they actually feel like that's a place that they belong to.
Yeah.
The second thing that I wanted to then talk about, because I think you said it feels like a job. I want to challenge that. Shouldn't it?
I don't know, because I've also heard, like, to your first point that you've just made, like, I've also heard people come in and say things like, I know.
If
You wouldn't be
If
late.
it was your
If
job,
it was your
yeah,
job.
yeah. And I'm just like,
If it was your
I'm
job,
like,
will you be late?
joke's on you. I'm late all the time.
This is not a church problem. It's a me problem. I am always late.
Obviously, I think when that comes up, usually I think it's coming from a toxic place. Personally.
I really hate it so much.
But like, I do think if what we're saying is like, will there be a time where you don't like what you're doing? Will there be a time when it's difficult? What I'm trying to say is like, in those times, I don't think the answer is I'm gonna now stop doing this. I think you could go and speak to your whoever's leading, and even at work, if I'm having a hard day, like my boss is telling me to go home, so you can get that kind of support. But like there needs to be a level of commitment, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, if you decide to
If you accept
join,
it,
if
then-
you,
But
yeah.
But it needs to feel different to a job.
Yeah.
You need to be able to go and say, look, I'm not doing okay, or I'm not as close to God as I need to be at this point to actually carry out this job in a way that is actually acceptable.
Yeah.
And people need to be around to be able to support you and give you the relief or
Yeah.
whatever that looks like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that moment for you to be able to step away for a season, if that's all it is.
Yeah.
And for you to actually like feel like you're at a place where you can do that again.
Yeah.
Hit the nail on the head. I think the thing that's missing, because this is kingdom work, right? If it's kingdom work, it needs to be a model of what good work looks like. And I think sometimes we forget that. Like the number of workers in church who burn out, number of pastors themselves who burn out, who end up like getting depressed and stuff because of just too much. And I think,
And talking for the PKs.
shout out to the PKs out there. We feel your pain, guys. We know it's
For those who don't know what
Yeah,
that
what is
abbreviation
that?
is,
Sorry.
I know,
Pastor's
but-
kids,
Yeah.
pastor's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to rethink what the model of work looks like. And I actually think that model should then be the model that we then take to our actual workplaces, because I don't think that there should be a distinction. I think anything I'm doing now is working for God. If you have connected your life purpose to the kingdom, even if I am flipping a butcher, I can see that as kingdom work. I'm feeding people. I'm doing something that is part of purpose, you know? And then you should still apply the same kind of thing. So I think I want to talk about what you talked about. How should we do this better? Because it's the same story I hear all the time. Every single church, even successful churches that have loads of workers, burnout. Don't do it in a way that feels like how the Garden of Eden would have felt. You know, like it doesn't feel.
You don't always feel. It does feel like a burden sometimes. Like
Yeah.
unless you're enjoying it. I'm not sure if it's because sometimes people are. It's because of the way that it's presented. I think sometimes if it were to be presented in the way that we've just discussed it can be presented, as in the choir, you are leading people to worship, right? You're helping people to worship God in that position. You know, it can be like that. But I feel like sometimes it feels like it's a burden because of the pressure that is associated with it. Sometimes people are forced to become workers. They don't do it because they said, oh, do you know what? They've got to the place in their spiritual life that they're like, all right, I'm here now. And now I want to work for God. Because I think that when you join church and when you are growing in your faith, the natural thing to do is to feel like you need to do more.
Back.
You feel like that. Like if you are growing in Christ, you will feel like you need to do something.
Yeah.
Now, it depends on how that will then come. It might be that you say, you know what, I do want to do something. And some people do come and say, I want to work. I want to be of service to the church. I want to join. Where do you need me?
Yeah.
That's what you need. People
Yeah.
coming willingly
Yeah.
to do that. Not you. Somebody joins church and then you're like, you've got to join this team now. You've got to join this. People are then doing it because they want to please you, not because they are
That's it.
thinking about it from their heart.
it,
You
yeah.
know,
True, it's true.
you can never be somebody. You will be burnt out at that point because you're only doing it to because this person asked you to do it, and you feel like because maybe it's a pastor. We still have this thing within churches these days, because it's a pastor, you just feel like you can't say no, you know, and that's another problem in itself. But because of that, people then take on things that they really maybe don't even have the capacity for, they don't have the resource for, they don't have the heart for, you know, they're not ready to have that. I'm gonna find the passage whilst we're talking, whatever, which it has, you probably even have it already, where it talks about what you need to, what it means to be in the church as a worker in the church. I know that
you find it.
I will find it. I will find it.
I don't know what
Rachel.
passage you're talking about. But no, guys, I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head. Can we talk about how we can turn this around? Like, how can we make it, better?
I don't know whether I have that answer, but I think sometimes we, as a church, and I don't know, I struggle between, having a vision, right? You have a vision that this is where the church needs to go next. But sometimes I think you need to look at the people who are around you before you decide that this is the time to actually implement that vision. Because if you don't have enough people who are doing the things that are being done already, and you want to then come and add,
lean in to make a Just lean into the back. No, but facts.
Yeah, but if you don't have enough people already, and you're bringing in another mission, another department, it's only the people who are there already that are going to be able to make this vision work. Do you get what I mean? So sometimes it's a bit of wisdom about what is the perfect timing. Can you actually recruit people to actually make this vision so it's not a burden on the people who are here already?
I love that. Another thing I think is a problem is a lot of churches are so focused on people out there and what we're doing about people out there, not thinking about our people and how are our people doing. And I just feel like that is so backwards. It's like, you are here to serve your local community. The people that are in front of you, these people that we're calling workers, they're the church, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times you don't focus on what are their needs. Like, the reason people are burning out, the reason people aren't able to talk is because you haven't spoken to them. You haven't gone to find out how they're doing.
You haven't created space for it.
Like, and I think that's number one. Like, the number of times we've been in churches and it's like, you're not talking to your people. You're talking, like, the vision is nothing to do with your people. It's about bringing more people in. It's about impact you're going to have out there, which is awesome to have impact. But
start at home.
Start with your people.
Yeah.
You're the shepherd of those people, right?
Yeah.
So you need to first think about, if you can do that, I think that's the antidote to everything. Because you hear where people are at, you hear how they're feeling, you hear when they're motivated and they want to do something, you can give it to them. But then when something changes, you're speaking, there's a space for them to come and talk without judgment. There's infrastructure in place to actually change things around. I think that would just really make working just so much more like pleasurable, and like you would feel like they have your back.
I think another thing is also like within the workers themselves. I don't really like the term worker, but within the workers, them recognizing that we're all people that are flawed, regardless of whether you work in the church or you don't work in the church. Like, just because you have a church role doesn't mean that you're not going to come across someone that has a different character to you, or someone that you find difficult to work with, or someone that you've just had a challenge with. And I feel like sometimes when we encounter these things in the church, it puts us off because we're like, you shouldn't be this way. Like, you're a church person, when in actual fact, we're all human beings. We're all going through this life journey together. And it's I think that's part of the grace that we need to also extend to other people, even whilst we work, and vice versa, that just because I'm on this team with you doesn't make me perfect. And if something happens, I think that comes back to like your motives. Are you going to stop doing it because you feel like, well, this person has done me dirty, so I'm out? Or are you going to consider the bigger picture and why you got into it in the first place, and just realize that this person is dealing with this, but I'm not going to let that stop me. So I feel like that's another thing that you need to consider when working anywhere, really, not just in a church, because you'll come across so many different people with so many different backgrounds, characters, attitudes, like the whole lot. So yeah.
So I'm gonna always say this. I think if you think the vision, the purpose of Christianity is to get as many souls to go into heaven, then actually, yes, working for the church is the most important thing to do. But as we all know, I don't think that. I think it's about the kingdom of God being here, and Jesus building his kingdom. If that's the most important thing, then it's not even just about the church. It's we are the light so that people on the outside can see something different. I think it's about how we conduct ourselves just in life. I think that we sometimes talk about work. I want to bring back the word work, because there's working in church and there's a job. That's how we all kind of see it. And I don't necessarily think that that's right in a way. I think there's work. God has created you to do work. And everything you do, whether it's in church, whether it's the work of God. So I just wanted to ask you guys, so what does, outside of a church context, have you guys aligned your work to kingdom? Do you guys think that what you're doing in work is kingdom aligned?
I think it's a lot easier for me to
Okay,
say.
well,
Yeah.
Yes.
I say people's lives for a living.
No, not even that. As in, like, I guess it's a lot easier for me where I have a job that is actually serving people. Do you get what I mean?
Was your motivation that though?
Partly, yeah. Just serving people in general has always been like in my heart. So the opportunity to do that and to serve people at like some of the most vulnerable points of their lives, yes, 100%. But also, I happen to fall into it as well. But I think it's a lot easier for me to answer and say yes.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just think this is because based on like the conversation we had.
Talk directly into it. You keep on cutting.
Sorry.
Shade.
I think based on the conversation we had last week about like aligning your work to your life view, like I think it's so important that we're not just like going through the motions and just doing things.
Yeah.
Because if you're not working for your purpose, this is in church or outside, you're working for someone else's purpose.
Yeah.
You're working for someone else's vision. And that might not be God's vision. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's so important that we shouldn't see. I think it's a myth that we've been told that like there's a thing called a job that you just have to do to get by. No, you have the ability to work and add value. And the question is, where do you want to add value? What do you want to add value with? And I think the tragedy is that so many of us, including me, we've just been like not adding value for someone else and not really conscious of it. Because the main thing is motivating us is to get a paycheck, to get money. But we're not actually thinking, no, God has configured you perfectly for something. God has given you some experiences, some relationships. God has given you some talents. Are you harnessing that for something? Because remember what we talked about, like, if you don't do that, it's not about the fact that you might go and do something good, but what's not getting done because you're not doing that?
Yeah.
So, like, do we have you guys thought about that at all?
When it pertains to work.
Yeah, with your work that you're doing, and do you agree, disagree?
Yeah.
If I think that my thing is I had this prayer that I used to pray. Well, like one of the things that I do think about when I'm at work is about, I always pray about, God help me to show love today.
Move your mic like to the side that you're actually facing. There you go.
Maybe you need to do that as well.
Touche, brother.
Touche. Yeah, help me to show love today at work. Help me to, because sometimes it is just about even showing restraint.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
You know what I
testing
mean?
you.
Like,
Testing
you know, I feel like it's like that. I cannot say that, oh, in me working, I am thinking about the fact that this is for God. I haven't really made that connection with my work life and my life as a Christian, other than the fact that I know that I'm a Christian in this working environment, and I want them to see God's love through me. That's the way that I see it. And that's kind of the way that I always try to see it. I want to be a light. I want to always kind of be a good example of what it is, you know. I think that's the way that I
that's
personally see it.
Yeah.
So
I think it is valid, definitely, and I think everyone should aspire to be doing that, full stop. But I do think,
how does that work as a business analyst?
It's no, but that's what I'm saying. Should you be a business analyst then?
Oh, really?
Oh, is that what
No,
really?
that's what I'm saying. Like that's no, but like a lot of us, like we,
okay.
like there's one thing. Okay, I'm doing something that I'm not necessarily invested in, and I'm trying to make it work and be loving in that thing. And there's a thing I want to accomplish. Oh, there's something that needs to get done. So I cannot not do this thing because this thing needs to get done. It's not an easy thing to find that. And it's not an easy thing to stop what you're doing currently and start to walk in that. But I think it's critical that we all start that journey.
Yeah, I think I've just said that I think it's easy for me, but actually you're right. And I think I've spoken to you a lot about this. And I feel like even though my job is a job that outwardly is serving people, I feel like I'm just going through the motions, and I'm actively in a season of my life now where I'm trying to change that, and I'm trying to make work for me work in a sense that it serves what I believe is God's purpose in my life.
There you go.
So for me, I'm actively conscious about it and thinking about it for the last year or so. So just making those movements, but it is hard. Like what I really want to do is just quit my job and just leave and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But there are money pressures. There are the reality is it's not always that easy to just step aside. And sometimes it is a transition, and that transition is not necessarily just a year. It might be 10 years in the making.
Look, I was going to say, I feel like even with like role, because I'm a bit with Tads on this, right? I feel like my role isn't directly kingdom work. I mean, that's questionable because how do you define the kingdom? But I feel like even in those moments, wherever you find yourself, you can pick up stuff along the way that eventually is going to contribute to kingdom work. So for example, I work in finance, and I feel like that is very, very important and a significant part of me building the kingdom. Like,
100%.
I don't think it's just related to my 9-to-5 job. And I'm sure there's like skills and experiences that you've picked up as a business
100%.
analyst that, you know, you can now bring that into kingdom work. So I feel
100%.
like, and likewise with you. So I feel like wherever you find yourself, even if it's not like directly labeled as kingdom work, there are still skills, experiences, viewpoints, exposures that you can bring from that world into the kingdom that can, you know, be so valuable.
And and just to that point, I feel like just being a Christian in those spaces, because you keep saying that you want to change the way we do business, the way we do work, that like you need Christians who have hearts that are on the same page in order to begin to make those changes in those spaces. So
1000%.
oh, here we go.
I feel like there's always a but coming with
There we go.
Tony. There's always, I agree, but all the time.
No, wait. I actually agree.
All quit.
No, I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to quit. I'm just saying, like, if there is a destination that you're trying to get to, you can stumble and bump and walk in darkness and
Well,
learn.
in darkness.
No, but it's true, and you can learn as you're going, and you should do that. In fact, most of the most successful people, like Bill Gates and all these people, they didn't like have it all together. They kind of got lucky, found an opportunity, tried something, got there, but they had a vision. Like they had something that they were trying to get to, and then they were then better able to take advantage of the opportunities that they had. If you know what you're trying to do, where you're trying to get to, then you'll better understand how I can leverage where I am right now.
Yeah.
How I can leverage my opportunities, that's the difference. What book was I listening to that said like a lot of the difference between people who are successful is that they get lucky intentionally. I can't remember how they put it, but the point is, like, when you are intentional, wherever you are, whatever situation you are in, you can see the opportunity in that situation. But that's because you know what you're trying to achieve, where you're going. So I'm not trying to say like whatever job you're doing, quit it. It's not the perfect job. Anything you're doing, you should be able to get value from the thing, but you should also know where you're going and how it contributes to that thing. If it isn't contributing to that thing, because we can also do things that are not value add for whatever our mission is or our vision is, then I'm just trying to give us clarity. I think there's too many people that are in a place and they're just like, I'm just going to be loving here. And I'm like, no, we're not living up to our potential. That's not shade. I'm not trying to throw shade. No, but like, do you not see like that's a bit of a whimper of an answer for me.
What is
like,
a whimper of an answer? Sorry.
Like to just be where,
loving,
just be loving wherever you are. Like I just feel like I just think if you're trying to, I want people to max. I want people to wait. What do you mean? Did I say? I didn't know what I said was bad. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't. I apologize. I pull it back. I didn't. What I'm just trying to say is,
what if I like being a business analyst? I don't understand.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with being a business analyst.
Or if it's part of being what they want to.
If it's part of your thing, then it's your thing. Like,
why can't you do both?
Did I say you can't do both?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not
like
coming.
You want people to quit their jobs and
I don't.
do the other thing.
I literally
I think
just said.
Chloe's just trying to say that have a clear vision for where you were trying to. Actually, I wasn't really.
No, that's it. And put steps in place. I just think there's a difference between successful people, and I'm not trying to say like this is success for the kingdom. Like we are trying to build something here. Let's do it with intent. Let's go at it. Let's push.
Can I ask, what do you mean by maybe we should like
Okay.
specify?
Okay.
What do you
Yes.
mean by
Okay.
kingdom?
So let me actually bring it because there is you're in finance, right? Like, and I think that you in finance with intent for kingdom would be different from you in finance just as a job. Because if, for instance, you were like, oh, I need to raise funds for this activity that I think is so important for this community, then you're doing that for purpose. Like, even if they docked your pay, you would still want to be doing that thing. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be, oh, I'm doing this thing because I want to transform this industry. You know, there's a lot of people that are doing things that are below board. You know, the system is wrong. I'm here to make a difference. You know, there's an intent behind it. There's a reason that you're doing the thing, not just I'm doing whatever. Because when challenges come by, you'll just go with it. You might not even notice when someone's doing something fraudulent because you're not there for a reason. Do you know?
Yeah.
I think you
understand what
might
I'm trying to
notice
say?
when someone's doing something fraudulent. But I am hearing you.
I feel like that's like quite easy to say for like an industry like finance. Do you think like everyone has the opportunity to make that level of difference in the work that they're doing?
It doesn't have to be a difference.
Sure.
Like, you could be a stay-at-home mum and do that with intent and purpose. And like, I'm not trying to be like, I don't think that everybody is here to change the world and like.
I don't think
No.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit lost in your.
I don't think that I'm understanding because I feel like it's a very blanket. I don't know. I don't think I'm quite getting you.
What is that accent?
I don't know. Like, Are you? I'm waiting for you to finish telling me that you don't understand, so I can respond. But you keep telling, and I keep thinking you're gonna add more, but you keep just saying I don't get it.
Because every time I say I'm like trying to also understand while I say that I don't understand, and then I realize, no, I don't know if I do. I mean, I get what you're saying in a way, but I don't know how it would apply to everybody. The question that you just asked is literally what is on my mind, thinking, I get what you're saying about you should do it with intent of I'm here and I'm doing it to build the kingdom.
I'm here. Sorry, I think
I'm doing this to
the
build
I'm
the
here
kingdom.
the I'm here is because we've already resigned to the fact that I'm here. I'm saying, where do I need to be? Like, I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not kind of assuming that you need to be where you are. I'm saying everybody needs to go away and think and write it down, like all the stuff we talked about last week, and be intentional. Okay, what do I actually think will bring me fulfillment? What do I think is aligned to what I think God wants me to do, to the talents that I have that is value add? And then you can ask yourself, okay, so where am I now? Is what I'm currently doing aligns to this thing? Are there things that I can do with what I'm currently doing that will benefit this thing? If not, then I do think you should consider trying to find a way to get into the, otherwise you'll live a life of unfulfillment and a life that doesn't bear the fruits that I think you could be bearing. That's all I'm saying.
I hear that.
I mean,
we do have a comment from Pam. She says, for me, I always feel the urge to empower people around me to be the best that they can with whatever they are set out to do, out of love and kindness, supporting others so we can build together. So wholesome.
No, but the thing is, I'm not gonna lie,
Thank you,
and
Pam.
you would think that was just written for Bance and someone was just like scripting it, but that's actually what she does.
Exactly.
Like every day, she'll come in and it will be like a little situation at work, and she'll be like, "But I'm there I've got to get through it. Basically, I've got to help them get through it."
See, that is someone who understands. Sorry, I just cut you
no,
off.
go,
But
go,
I
go.
know this about Pam.
Yeah.
That's someone who kind of they understand what value that they're gonna be adding to this world, and for them, they can add that value in almost any situation. And in the situation they find themselves in, they're able to add that value. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to like.
I mean, I think I get you, but I don't feel like I have to. I feel like in my job, where I think that I can add value is in being myself and showing them Christ, right? I don't think that means that I can't then do all these other things. Like I can't then look at my skills and everything and then still do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like, and maybe that's because I'm still thinking about the fact that I need to save money. So,
Bills.
you
You
know,
got bills to
I
pay.
got bills.
This
you
is
know.
this is the
But wait,
perfect.
There's actually, before the segue, there's a question here in our Instagram live. Miss Sade said, should we all, as people who have a relationship with Christ, have the same intent?
Well, this is kind of what we talked about last week. We talked about you can watch our video from last week, 2 weeks ago actually. But basically what we talked about was that it's not even just our intent, it's God's intent now. God is trying to do something with his creation. He has a purpose. He has something that he was so passionate about that he sent his son to come and die for that thing. And I think the thing that we should all share as Christians is an understanding of what God's purpose is. What is God trying to accomplish with this world? So when we come into relationship with him through his son, we should then want to take on that mission. Then within that mission, there are different things that need to be done. So we know what that mission is, to build the kingdom. That's what Jesus is doing right now, building his kingdom. And I think that we now all have a role to play in that kingdom. And that kingdom is a very diverse place. So there's millions of things for all of us to be doing in that, but it is unified in that it's part of his kingdom that we are working in. So I think you were still saying something. I think we are really massively over our time limit today, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. No. This is topic 1B. but I
Okay.
think is that all right to say to a guy?
I call bare of my boys B. I'm sure I
Okay.
called you B a couple times.
The more we say it, I don't know, Don't call me B anymore,
What does B actually
Maybe the
let's
B,
go- wait,
the
what
B
does
for you guys
actually
is short for bruv.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. That's what I meant. That's
both
actually
say
what
it on
I
the
meant.
streets,
That's
yeah.
what I actually meant. No. Anyways, what I was trying to say, perfect segue. Because you just said what you're doing is cool. You're doing in love. So just to summarize, like the first segment, we've said, working in church is good, but it's not the only thing. There is stuff that we can do about how we approach working in church to make it an example, a light to the world for how to do work. And we talked about some examples. So I think we've exhausted that one. I want to now go into what is your most valuable asset, because I think that would really speak to what we were talking about. Because spoiler, I'm just going to go into it. I think the answer is twofold, but time is one of those things.
No time to explore what anyone else thinks. Let's just give an answer.
Because I'm trying to answer her question. Because
What question?
no question. The last statement we we made. I just think time is the most valuable thing that we all have, and it's the great equalizer in this world. Everybody has the same amount of time. You might have different money, you might have different power, influence. We all have the same time. So what you're giving your time to is so important. So if you have a vision, or if you have something that you think God has put in you that you're meant to be achieving, and you're giving 9 to 10 hours a day of your waking time to something that isn't part of that, you are not managing your time well. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm just trying to say why I do not accept that as an acceptable
I think that
thing.
it's very difficult. What you're saying, I just feel like what you're saying is very. It's difficult to
Wait,
am I being very weird here?
Am I bugging?
Wait, is it
I don't
because is it
understand.
because you think I'm telling you to quit your job?
It sounds like it's very much like, because fine, me, right? I think we all know the part of the kingdom that I really want to build on is, the fact that I think that a lot over the years, people have had the wrong message when it comes to the Bible, right? And I really am very passionate about people truly understand how gisty and how amazing the Bible is. Do you get what I'm saying? Like how amazing the word is, and literally the Eden ideal. All the things that we talk about, I want people to know that and see Christianity in a different light to the way that we've been pegged to be. Judgmental, this, that, the other. You know what I mean? It's love, it's building the kingdom, it's all these things that we talk about all the time. I'm very passionate about sharing that with people.
Yeah.
I cannot think, right about now, my brain is not allowing me to click with doing that, because I'm very happy to do that and I would love to be able to do that all the time, right? Like that's nice. But I don't feel like I am thinking that I'm losing out on doing that because I'm working my 9 to 5. Like I just can't.
But can I just
really-
ask you some?
I don't. Am I not getting
No,
what
but
is
can
being
I ask
said?
you?
I don't get it.
Go on, Bim.
I think the question is, would you, in my opinion, I think it all comes down to the fact that we have bills to pay. And outside of that, if we didn't have bills to pay, would we do our 9 to 5?
Would
And
you
then
be
would we
doing that exactly?
refocus our time and energy
would-
on
I
something
would-
else?
I would love to just be singing.
Okay, so
that's the answer.
exactly, Tadio. Why do you?
To be honest.
So the only reason why? So why are you giving up your time? Is it the answer?
not
Very
giving
simple.
up my time.
No,
I
wait.
can't.
Why are you exchanging your time
Uh-huh.
for doing
Because
that work?
I can't just wake up
Because
and
you
say, I
need
wanna
money.
be a
Exactly.
singer, and
No,
then
no,
I'm
no.
just a
Exactly.
singer.
That's
It doesn't work like
and that's
that.
because
Life doesn't work
that's
like
because,
that.
So let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's
Right.
break it down because we are starting. So I'm really. I know I'm talking to you, so I don't want to. Like we're starting from a position of being stuck in a situation. Like we started in a situation. I'm want to use a strong word, but I'm not trying to say that to you. It's a shame, but like it's almost it's almost like modern day slavery. Like we've just been
bills
to bills to the money.
Bills,
Exactly.
100%.
Okay, so
we recognize.
I recognize that.
Life is
So
not
no,
supposed to
that.
be like
so the
that.
conversation
No
I'm
one
having
wants to have
exactly,
bills to
but
like. We don't want that
but
life,
the conversation I'm having with you is it doesn't have to be that way.
But
Why
this
do you
is where
keep
we
saying
find
that?
ourselves. Like this is like
Tadio, do you think you can't come out of the yoke of doing something that you're not actually
you're
actually
absolutely
passionate
can.
about?
It like it's
But
so
there's a
easy,
journey
though.
to get there,
There's
right?
a journey,
It's a
of course.
process.
She's not even trying to start this journey. She's like, this is it.
No,
that.
she's
I'm
in
trying to
other
make you be
things.
realistic about like because
What do you mean?
It sounds very flowery.
I didn't tell you to quit your job
No, but
today.
it sounds a bit like no.
Why?
No.
Why does it sound?
I'm just saying.
why you can't do both.
Why can't you do both?
Wait.
Why can't you be?
Wait, they can't hear
Why
you
can't
do
you
it.
be happy?
Wait. I'm confused.
I don't mind
there's so
working in
many
brand.
Wait.
I don't mind
things
working in
that
brand
play here.
protection.
I'm actually really confused now.
Yeah,
He's sorting
I'm
it out.
confused. I'm confused right now because you guys are saying this is the thing that I want to be doing with my life, and I'm doing this other thing that I don't really want to be doing, but I'm just doing it in exchange for money. Just so we're clear, all I'm saying in this conversation, wait. All I'm saying in this conversation is it is an amazing thing to identify what that thing that you actually want to be doing with your life is. Mm-hmm. And now let's start the conversation of how you can start to chart a transition. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
If it sounds like I'm saying anything more extreme,
I hear that.
I'm not saying
Fine.
anything more extreme.
Why do we say these things all the time? You think that we don't? The thing is that we think about these things. Of course, half of the things, everybody here has another thing that they are doing other than their 9 to 5. We all literally have other things that we are doing outside of what we're doing. So this thought process is not, it's not like, this idea, isn't foreign. Do you know what I mean? It just what is sounding a bit like, bro, it just sounds like you're saying it like it's just super easy. Like we're playing ourselves because we're accepting the fact that we have to go to work and pay these bills.
So the first,
obviously we're all working towards getting to a place where we probably can be paying our bills
and
with
other people's
whatever
bills.
and other people's bills with the thing that we want to be doing. That do you get what I'm saying? That's the aim
With
with
our
your
passion.
passion,
Yeah.
with your passion.
So
to
we're
pay
on
your bills.
We're on
We're
the
on
same
the
page.
same page.
We're on the same.
We
So
are.
how do we now get
how do
there?
we get there?
are.
What are we fighting?
It takes stepping back, reflection, strategizing, planning, like being honest with yourself,
So
and,
don't
and
put your job on
setting
hold.
a
That's
goal.
what I want us to talk about, like because
Okay.
like that's what I want us to talk about. And Tadia, as I know you're saying that, but I think there might be people that are listening that might feel stuck in a situation and they feel like they don't have any way out. And I think it's useful
Of course,
for
because everybody feels like we're just
okay,
working
so
to
I
pay
think
bills
it's
at the end of the
useful
day,
to have a
right?
conversation that
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that way, and
Yeah.
we can have freedom from things that I don't know what you think I'm saying that is different from what we're saying right
No,
now.
I hear what you're saying.
I think we established.
This
what
is
I
why
thought you
Tadio and
were
I couldn't sit
saying.
next to each other. just say it. This is why
Someone would
Tadio and I
punch
couldn't
someone
sit
real
next to
quick.
each other. This is this antagonist. I don't understand.
No,
People
but I
wouldn't know
feel
that
like
we're
we've
like
got
best
to
friends
this-
out here. But let's keep it
Literally
moving.
best friends.
Let's keep it moving. So
No, we've. I feel like you understood why I didn't understand.
Yeah, and I
but
think
we're
it's
on the same
important
page
to
now.
clarify as well because
Yes.
there might be other people at.
was
who
I
are
saying that though?
No. But I think like, but
It
this
sounded
is the thing.
when you
sounded
first
very
started
much- it was
off.
very-
Okay.
It sounded
No.
different.
It was very
The first thing though.
Why are you
I
doing
think
what
if-
you're doing?
I
Just
think
get it.
anyone that doesn't
Do
have
what
that
you love.
anyone that doesn't have that realization though, because I think there are people out there who don't have that realization, who think that that's the
probably
norm. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, like probably our parents' generation, a lot of them, this was life. till retirement.
And we
So-
have to give them their props because it had to be.
And
Yeah.
Tolu
You can't have
Incorrect.
No, wait.
Incorrect.
No,
This is
Tolu,
what I
wait,
don't
wait,
agree with.
Incorrect.
How
It
can
didn't
you
have
say
to be.
that?
No, but
It
Tolu-
did not have to be.
Tolu, wait,
This is why I
Tolu,
can't agree.
wait.
Nah,
I
it didn't
think
have
one
to
of the
be.
things- No,
I
wait.
feel
I
like
think
it's a disrespect to our
I
parents
think one
for
of
you
the
to
things
say
that
that.
we have to recognize
Oh,
and
man.
we have to acknowledge is that we are talking from a place of privilege.
Of course.
Where, no, where our
Exactly.
parents have grafted so that we
Right.
can
How
now
dare you?
have these enlightened conversations. Like, we are talking from a place of privilege.
Disrespect
Our parents had to come from another country, had to start from
Honestly.
scratch.
Stop
had to
saying I'm
graft and
disrespecting
hustle.
our parents, please, because I don't claim that. I have utmost respect. What you just said was it had to be that way, and what I want to respond to is it didn't have to be that way.
Nothing has to be that way.
Exactly.
So easy to say though.
Tell
bro.
you, but there are people out there. The difference is knowledge, understanding relationships. There are
I can't
things.
agree with you.
There are things that we can. There are
Sorry.
things that people can put in position. There are things oppressing all of us that we can fight against. There are things I do not accept a statement that it had to be that way.
I think that we need
I
to disagree
think-
on that specific point of our parents.
do not misconstrue what I'm saying, because you're saying disrespect. Like, I don't think that they worked hard, that they did what they had to do, but I think that they were also put in a system. I think
Exactly. So
please
then
let me
you can't
finish.
then
Let me
speak
finish my
outside of
statement.
the system.
Let me finish my statement. And see that is a slave's mentality, to think that the box that you've been put in is the only place you can be in. I'm saying let's shatter these boxes. No, but for real, I've stopped speaking to just Christians. I'm speaking to a lot of black people right now as well. I'm being serious, because I know so many people that have been put in a box and they can't see outside the box.
Yeah.
They
I
think
hear
that
what
that's the
you're saying.
only thing that they can
saying,
be
I
in,
understand.
and that's
not
ridiculous.
saying that you shouldn't think outside
I'm
of
not
the
saying
box.
that. I'm not saying that
But
people didn't have pressures and things that were stopping them. Sorry.
I'm not.
It's getting passionate in here. It's getting
I'm
passionate
not
in
saying
here.
that there is that we should. Please don't think that I'm saying that stay in the box that you're in.
You are.
That
You're
is
saying
not-
there's no way out.
That's not what I said.
That's literally what you said.
I
That
just
is
don't
not-
understand.
I-
Wait, I
I
just
feel
don't understand how
like-
you guys have been friends for so long, but can't seem to understand.
It always happens
I
this way.
didn't say
But I feel
that.
like what Tads is saying, the comment it has to be was, let's recognize the struggle and the hardship that our parents went through.
I don't
But
think
I think
Tolu
what
said
Tolu,
not
I think
that.
what
That's a
Tolu,
completely
I think,
different
said-
thing.
but I
Wait,
think what
let me-
Tolu
that's
is
a
completely
saying.
different thing.
Okay,
No, the
I
point
understand.
that I
but
was
I think
making
what
was-
Tolu is saying, we don't have to continue. Like, we
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to
yeah,
perpetually
yeah.
be
We don't-
That
in this
generational
state
curse
We
of
don't have to
exactly.
continue
Yeah, it can
anything.
break with
Yeah.
you.
We can
Basically,
break the
you can change the
generational
status
curse.
quo.
Listen,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we should not grow out of the mentality of, but we are very privileged. Like you said, that was a very, very prominent
Yeah.
word that you
Teddy,
said.
you're saying we're very
Can I
privileged, but
can
a
I
moment
land?
ago you
Can I
were
land?
still saying I want to stay in my box. A moment ago.
Why is it a box?
she said
I didn't say that's a box. You think that me working my 9 to 5 is a box for me? Thank you. That's fine. I don't feel like I feel like I'm in a position where I need to do some. At the end of the day, we can all say these flowery things. Oh, I need to be doing this other thing. I get that. Trust me, I have like 5 hustles, bruv. Like, it's not even. Do you get what I'm saying? I have no qualms about thinking about bigger than what I'm doing. You know that. So I don't know why we're even there. But my problem was about when you said that they didn't have to be like that. No one has to be, no one has to be any way that they don't have to be. But at the end of the day, situations meant that they did. You can't say that they just didn't. They didn't have the choice.
I didn't say that.
And that was why I was,
But I didn't
that
say
was
that.
why I said I disagree. Because in me saying they did have to be like that is because of the situation that they were in. You cannot tell me that our parents came. A lot of us are maybe second generation or first generation. Me, I was not born here, but
But Teddy,
there
sorry,
are things,
you're
right?
making.
Wait, let me
let
land.
her land,
Let me
let her
land. I let you land,
though.
bro.
No, but it makes
No.
it sound like that's what I was saying.
No, but that's what I'm. That's
Stop
what
telling
I'm
me
saying
something
is
that I
that
wasn't saying,
Olu
bro.
literally said they didn't have to be like
but
that. You
that
wanted
was
them
a
to stay in the box.
that was a
That's what I was
misunderstanding.
No,
now.
but
That was a
even
misunderstanding.
when Tolu says it didn't have to be like that. I understand where he's coming
That's what,
from.
We've
what I'm trying
clarified the
to say is,
misunderstanding.
yeah, but you're not letting me finish. That's what I don't like. Let me finish what I'm saying before you just say I've
Maybe we shouldn't
understood
have done
you.
this live.
It's all love, guys. It's
No,
all
but you
love.
know it. It's fine.
It's
though, but
all
I'm
love.
just saying that was where I was from. What you said, you might not have meant that, but that was what I was commenting on.
I hear you.
right?
I hear you.
So I was just saying that those situations, I don't want them to be in the box. Our parents wanted more. They had dreams, but the situations that they had, and I'm not saying that you are not saying this, but yeah. So
I'm with you. No,
they had
I'm with you.
situations, and so that's what I'm trying to say is that we are all in situations that mean that it's not as easy to shift from the place that we're at now.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that we can't. We should have this mentality of wanting more, of course, and we should plan for it.
But what I'm trying to say,
I'm just saying it's not as easy as we are saying and making
like
it
what
out
I'm trying
be.
to say is the difference. What I'm trying to say and what you're saying is, I think even our parents, if someone had just told them, maybe saving your money in a bank isn't the wisest thing. Maybe invest some of it in stocks and shares. That's all you needed to have told someone.
How is that going to help them when they landed here from and they needed to make money right now?
No, because there were some
How
of
was
our,
it
there was some people that had enough money to save 400, 500 pounds a
There
month.
were some.
And those people, because they didn't have the right education, they didn't have the right information.
Yeah.
Totally
and
agreed
so
with
we
you.
are on the same page. So let's come back.
So-
let's
Okay,
come back to the
let's
same
bring it
page.
back.
We've
So
got
all
a
I'm
couple
sa-
comments. So Tanya Grant has said it could be a matter of building before leaving the job. And Pam has said, like what Tanya was saying, many of us dream, but is low key scared to step out from their comfort zone.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a really key point. And I think it ties into your point with knowledge. Like the Bible even says, my people
Knowledge is
perish
power.
for lack of knowledge. Like what you don't know can actually hurt you. What you don't know can actually cost you. So I feel like, yes, it might be scary, it might be risky, but the knowledge of you wanting to build something more and wanting to have a better life down the line where you're not at the mercies of the government pension scheme, which is, in my opinion, shocking. You would step out and take, though it may seem like a risk, but in the long run, it's actually going to benefit you more. But yeah, no, I hear what Pam is saying. A lot of people are scared. And they just want to stay in their comfort zone because they
I think
know
a lot of
it's
people
secure.
don't know sometimes.
I mean, that's also
why knowledge
one
is power.
point as well.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people just don't know, like
Yeah.
what is available to you. What options do you have? So that's what I'm sorry for coming strongly. That's what I was talking about. And I know you're not. I
Guys,
know
you'll
that's not
get
what you
used
were
to
talking
this
about.
interaction
But, like,
between
I think-
Tans and
It's not
Tolu.
even We're still
my
best
point
friends.
is my point. No,
But
but
we'll still get to the
But I
same
feel
place
like
at the end.
it's literally like, I feel like just because some people would have heard what you said or heard what you said. I think sometimes just exploring it and just.
to
making
be
sure
honest,
we're all
we're
on
not
the
even
same
answering the
page.
question that
Yes,
we started
let's
the
get back
segment.
to the question, please. Let's
The
do
start of
that.
this question. What time is it? Like,
What was the question?
okay, the question was, what's your most valuable asset?
And answering this,
We just cut out the last 30 minutes.
Was that the question? Oh my god! Time.
All right,
I
what-
think it's time and money.
Time and your money, but
But
time
time is
is
money,
your
though.
main
Exactly.
resource.
I think it's knowledge because you can have all the time in the world, but what do you actually do with that time? Are you using that time to watch Netflix, or are you
That's
using
true,
that
that's
time
true.
to actually learn,
to
build?
No,
to
but
learn,
have the knowledge,
to
you
have
have to have
knowledge,
the
you need to
time.
invest time.
Yeah.
Every
It all
single
boils down to time.
single
to
thing.
all is time.
Yeah, but the time can be invaluable. Like if you don't use it correctly,
Yeah, that's the
it
point.
may
That's the
not be
point.
valuable.
That's
But
why
your
time
question
is
was,
the
what's your
time.
most valuable asset?
it's time.
It's time.
The
It can't
time may
knowledge
not
'cause
be.
I don't know
The time may
what I
not
don't
end
know.
up being valuable.
Actually, she's right. It's using your time
Wisely.
wisely
Of
Yeah.
is your most valuable asset.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Because like, every single thing, I read this book called The Compounding Effect. With
Here comes his long books.
I listened.
And,
I listened to this book called The Compounding Effect, and literally every single kind of successful thing you can want in life, not just money, like it compounds over time. Like you can get significant gains. Obviously with finance, if you put money in a bank account regularly, even if it's a small amount of money, if you put £600 in the stock exchange and it gives you a 7% return, by the time you're like 65, it will be over £1 million. All you're doing every month is putting away £500 to £600. That's the power of time. But that happens as well with your relationships. If every day I spend just 2 minutes, taking time to like tell you how much I value you as a friend, over time, that bond will compound. It happens with, if you're trying to lose weight, every single day, a little good habit here and there will compound your time. But at the same time, every single second where you waste your time, that compounds as well. Every single second that you spend, if you're trying to lose weight, if you have one bad thing today, only have that one bad thing tomorrow, you keep having that, the effects compound.
It's a lot.
So that's
maybe choices also. Your choices are also a resource of yours
but without
too,
the
right?
knowledge, you won't have those choices, though, would you?
But the choice to go and get the knowledge too, right?
But
like
then
the
you
choice
have-
to watch Netflix or listen to an audiobook.
Netflix is killing us,
Eat
guys.
this.
Honestly.
No,
it really
but for
is.
real, guys, this is what I'm saying. Like being conscious of what you are exchanging
Honestly.
your time for
Oh, 100%.
is
Yeah.
really valuable
This
thing
is it.
to try and get kind of awareness of. So we've talked about time, money, knowledge. There is one thing that I do think is actually in the Bible that I actually, like, when I was preparing, I thought maybe I had this wrong. The most valuable thing I think to Jesus, is relationships. Actually, I think that's probably. I think it's time, but invested in relationships.
Yeah.
In every aspect of life, I think that's the thing. We all fight for money. Like, let's not lie. Let's just like cut the rubbish. Everyone here, the thing that you spend the most of your time trying to get is money. Let's not lie.
Of course,
Yeah,
that's not even. You can't.
That's not even
I
a
wouldn't
question.
even doubt it. I don't even have to pretend.
Yes. So
My
At
five
least 8
hustles
hours
are
of
because I want
everybody's
to
days,
make more
Monday to
money.
Friday.
okay, brilliant. Okay, so
True.
so this is where I think this starts to get interesting, right? Because even when in the last conversation we were talking about work and what we're all pouring our money into, what we're pouring our time and effort into,
Yes.
but really and truly, isn't it just money that we're all pouring our time and effort
true.
into?
Yeah.
Like,
Us-
what does this mean if
unless unless your job is gaining you knowledge,
but would you be
Yeah.
doing that if you didn't get the money?
but you are now
Some jobs
Because
you do.
the thing is, you get experience on the back end of your job,
Yeah.
which will then push you forward
It's
to get
storm.
more
But
money.
why are you trying to get knowledge? Who's getting knowledge just for the sake of it?
Maybe
You're getting
people,
knowledge to
maybe
get money.
people
You know what,
do.
you're right.
A lot of people
because-
are trying to get knowledge for
For
something.
the new job.
For
For that promotion.
For the
for money.
promotion.
For money. I
It
think
all
people.
comes down to more money.
What are you trying to get knowledge for?
It's a better
still comes down to
yourself,
money.
In what-
development
what-
personally,
Tell me a practical way you have
so I
gotten
can better manage my personal finances.
money. Okay.
So, okay,
But that's
so
knowledge.
an example actually.
That's
so
knowledge.
For me,
That is knowledge.
so
But I see your point.
But it still comes down to money. It still comes down to
Everybody can
money.
take 1 second and give themselves that thought, and then after try and find the root to it. It most
Okay,
It's
no,
money.
I think I might not actually have a money motivation.
Okay,
go on, let's hear it, let's hear it.
go.
Let's hear it.
You're
Let's
about
hear
to
it.
completely destroy me.
Let's hear it.
But I've gone less than full time at work, which
Yeah.
obviously means I'm not earning as much.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a master's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my I don't think like the job I'm going to get at the end of my master's is necessarily going to earn me any more.
Okay. No.
But
Yes.
it's because of where I want to be
Exactly.
in my career.
Exactly. And I think that's
Although-
a beautiful.
Yeah,
Although-
okay.
Go on.
To be completely honest, I do sort of like pick up a few extra shifts to make up that difference.
No. But that's
need,
life,
yeah.
right? That's life. Like I think.
You have to have
I think
money
we
to
have to
live.
acknowledge.
Yeah.
I think we have
It's
to
so
acknowledge
peak.
it.
Yeah.
Like money is
Adulting.
the currency.
Honestly, it's the ghetto.
if,
sad.
if we were talking from a worldly perspective, the answer to that question that I asked at the beginning is money. If we're talking from the way the world works,
People say
the
time
world-
is money.
the world runs on money.
It
Unfortunately,
does, yeah.
if the people that we think are high value in status wise are the people that have money, the people that we elevate money. The people that we think are successful are the people that are able to get money. Unfortunately, I think what we need to start to do is recalibrate about what's really important in life, because when I think I talked about it last podcast, like when they did a survey of people who had near-death experiences, and then they asked them like, what was the thing that you most regretted? It was never that I didn't have enough money or that I didn't have these.
I didn't have enough time to do this.
It's relationships.
Yeah.
I didn't invest enough in relationships.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the issue for me, the reason why it came so hard on that previous conversation is because the real truth of it is we all are in a place where we are investing we're giving the bulk of our useful waking up time and effort to something that we know isn't the thing that will give us fulfillment in life, because we are stuck, because we feel like that's the only way. We have bills, and that's a reality. I'm not trying to deny the reality. Is there a comment?
There is a comment. There is a comment from Miss Cuckoo. She said, but money isn't an end goal. What do you want to do with the money once you have it?
This is true.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
what it is.
This is true.
The only reason I'm chasing I guess chasing sounds bad. The only reason I want more money is because of what I want to do with it. Help my mum. I don't want my mum to think about too many things anymore. I want her to have a soft life. You know what I mean? I want to be able to spend more time with my family that lives in other countries. If I could just be able to if the soft life could come without me having to have I don't even mind not having it. Does that make sense? If I could do the things that I needed to do without having the money, if someone could just give it to me, like I wouldn't need to do all of the things that I need, that I think that I need to do.
You wouldn't chase
I wouldn't have to. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And
So
I feel
maybe
like
that's what
even
it
with
is.
like doing things that are for, let's say, the kingdom, you still need money to fund these things.
So this is the thing. I think there is a limit, a threshold below which, and this is like studies have been done. There's a threshold below which, if you don't have a certain amount of money, you won't be able to function fully. Like if you don't have a roof over your head, if you don't have food, like no matter how much you want to focus on relationships, blah, 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 there's an external pressure bearing down on you. But like we've talked about, a lot of us are privileged, especially in the country that we live in, thank God. The threshold is like 70,000 household income, apparently, based on the studies. Whatever we think
in this
about
country,
that. I think it was in America that they did it, but
no, was it not Switzerland?
no, they've done it multiple times in multiple
okay.
countries, but broadly speaking, it all comes round to something thereabouts, where money really is the thing that is holding back the thing. So if you don't have food for dinner, yes, money is holding back your happiness. But I do think we over-egg. I know a lot of rich people who still say what you just said. I need money to do X, Y, Z. And I think sometimes we elevate money too much. What is the thing you actually like? I like the question that Moyo, I'm assuming that's who that is. I like the question that Moyo said, because it's like,
Moyo.
what do you want to use your money for? And I think, what does it boil down to? If you forget material possessions and like lavish things of life, which are not evil, but if you exclude that, I think it boils down to people, right? It boils down to having fun with your friends.
Yeah.
It boils down to
spending time with
making
your
sure your family is
making
good,
sure your
having a
family
good
is
time.
good.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and we can do that. Like, you don't need money to do that, right? You just need.
In the country that we live in, we do need to have money.
This is what I'm saying. Like, whatever that threshold is, let's forget. Even if we say 75,000 is not the threshold, there is a threshold beyond which it has been proven that your happiness, satisfaction, your ability to make yourself happier with money diminishes. So if you've reached that threshold, like as a household between me and Steph, we've reached that threshold. You know, I mean, okay. I'm just saying. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I still strive for money. Do you know what I'm saying? I did a time. Like I did a schedule of all of my time, how much time I spend thinking about different things, doing different things. And by far, the majority of my waking up time after my family was spent, even more than time spent with my family, I'll spend on work, trying to think of my side hustles, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, is that the best way to live my life? That's the question, right? But how do we change our mindset? Do we even want to change our mindset on this?
Yeah, I do. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be a slave to anything. Like, you just want to be without any strings, without any limitations.
For money.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
we need to be more content?
100%.
What content and what you are, where you are.
Where you are, what you have, more like right about now. I want a new car. Why?
I always
what
want
I
a new
mean?
car.
Sometimes I think about it. Sometimes I think about it. The only reason
so
that
do
I honestly,
No, the thing is,
I'm just saying that, like, in our the soft life that we want to gain from getting all of this money.
It's just so that you could go.
It's like extra to what we do. If we're just able to, with what we have right now, can we achieve
exactly
this feeling of,
exactly?
you know what I mean?
But I think that's the point that I probably didn't articulate very well before, because if Bim's nails, okay. Listen, so if
We ain't gonna just skirt past that.
that's the point that I was trying to make before.
What? Bim's nails?
No. I feel like Bim, because of the eyelash last week, you thought, let me bring the nails.
No, I really didn't.
All right. Anyways,
Oh, God.
so if you really sit down and think, what is the most important thing from in my life? What do I value the most? What do I want to invest my time to harness? I think you will find that maybe you don't need to strive so hard in other regards, and you can focus on that thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I definitely recognize that there is still that minimum threshold. If you're below that threshold, I'm not mad. Get to where, and by the way, I'm not saying that threshold. Whatever your threshold is, I think you're right. Figure it out. What's the place where I need to be content at? And get there. But then stop. To be honest with you. Stop.
It's
Stop.
about
Easier
changing.
said
It's
than
yeah,
done.
it's about changing our mentality.
This is it. We need to change our mentality. We need to. And by the way, I am not like trying to say you can't be rich and wealthy and all that kind of stuff. But if you do that at the expense of what is important, then that's not a fulfilled life. Where on the flip side, I think actually the mode we're operating is, if you did what was important, those things come naturally. Like the money that you need to now do things will come naturally. Because I think so. This is and this is actually, like, from everything I'm studying now, reading, relationships as an example. If you actually want to get ahead in business, in your career, in anything, relationships is the way forward. If you just focused on building quality relationships, you will know about this job here. Someone will trust you. You'll be learning from people. You'll be like, do you know what I'm saying? So if you actually focused on that, like, this is all the top business people, you know, like I was looking at, like, in that book, Designing Your Life, where he was saying, like, 95% of us, when we want a new job, we go online and just type and look for it. The people who know that 80% of the jobs that are available are not online. They're just, like, in someone's head. They're just in the back room. You know, they never advertise the open.
Was that 80%?
80%. The only way,
start knocking some doors.
you will ever find out about those jobs is by networking.
Yeah.
By getting to
That's
know
how
people.
a lot of the people at the top get their jobs, isn't it? Oh, my friend Bill would be great as a CEO.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why are you American?
Why did he become?
I don't know.
Be a South Londoner.
In my head, that was. I don't know why.
I don't know why she said Bill as well. Like, does anyone
In
here,
my
like,
head, it was
William,
like.
mate. It's
In
William.
my head, it was like a Bill. I don't know. It was just, you know,
all right.
yeah.
But, like, I'm just trying to
But
say,
I
like,
bet you imagined what Bill looked like, didn't you?
I pictured Bill
You guys
Clinton, to be
pictured-
honest.
Oh, no, I
Pictured
didn't
you
picture
pictured
him.
Bill,
All right.
didn't you? You all got
Don't
it.
lie. Bill was definitely white. Don't lie.
Oh
Bill
yeah,
was
he
white in my head.
Bill was definitely white. Bill was definitely white.
He was. He was. Is that a problem?
I don't know. There's probably some black girls out there. So I apologize. Can we cut this out? Oh no, now I'm terrified. Oh no. Anyways, I think we've gone over time. Way over time. But like I think there is this thing. I'm only saying all of this stuff, and I think we're on the same page.
We are. I don't know why you keep directing.
No.
your comment
What I'm
back.
saying is, What I'm trying to say is, I think what we need to be doing, the conversations we need to be having, is about how do we start to break this. We need to start looking at, like, if we are to take this kingdom, because let's bring it back. We're kingdom. We're not just trying to make money and live life. Because there's a lot of people that are doing this. I watch a lot of YouTubers that I told you about Fire last week. Financial freedom, retire early type guys. And a lot of them are now releasing videos like, I got there, but I didn't know what to do with myself. Oh, I got there, then I quit my job and I started my own business, but I'm still just unhappy because you haven't replaced it with the important thing about life that will bring fulfillment. You haven't started to exchange that time freedom that you got from work. You haven't then poured it into the things that are really important. And I realized when I did my time thing, like relationships and friends and community was the thing that I was investing the least amount of my time intentionally for. I had time blocked out for work, 9 to 5. I had time blocked out for spiritual stuff. I had time blocked out for all these other things, but I didn't have any time blocked out for people. Time blocked out to develop this thing that is clearly the most important thing in life. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that we are lacking the training in this regard. The only relationships we ever train people for is like marriage or that kind of relationship. But that's just one of the thousands of relationships that you need to have in this world.
How does this work for people who find it difficult to build relationships? Because I feel like for us that are here, some people just yes, that's what I'm talking about. I think it's very easy. Yeah, it's easy for. I feel like we're very much so. It's easy for us to kind of build relationships. For me, anyway, that's one of my assets is being personable and stuff like that. I like talking to people.
Maybe they need like you in their life.
No, but it's not always quantity, it's quality. And I think a lot of those people...
So do you think that they then just need to be taught how to do that?
I definitely think being able to...
It's something that we should
be good at relationship is something that we should all...
100%.
Or like...
I got a comment here from KB. There is a saying, more money, more problems. Relationships are important, but relationship with self is critical. Many people are not aware of what would really make them happy, better.
Yeah, that was the starting point
This is true.
of the conversation. Yeah. You really need to spend time figuring that out.
Yeah.
Or else you'll be in that box I was talking about still.
What, the slavery box?
Yes, for real. Like, for real. It's so important.
No, I've ignored him.
We're ending this.
I ignored him. It's okay.
But anyways,
I didn't accept that shade. It's all right.
Anyways, I think take-home messages, you need to be more, first off, as KB said, be intentional about trying to figure out where you are. What is your life view? Like, I can't put words in your mouth. Like, I can tell you what I think God's one is. I think that's as far as I can go. I think everybody needs, it's so personal to every person, like, in fact, how they want to interpret what the kingdom means for them. That's every individual, but I think you need to go and figure that out. Once you figure that out, I think there are things you need to then do to be intentional about getting there. Like, writing stuff down on paper, evaluating your life, journaling kind of what you're spending your time on. And as you're going through your day, think what gave me energy and what drained my energy. What made me feel kind of engaged and what did I kind of just zone out on? Once you get more intentional about these things, that's where you find your sweet spot. And then all these other things will just fall away. I feel like when people find that sweet spot, you want to get to a place, this is what some guy said, a place where like even you couldn't dare not to do that thing
Yeah.
that you're doing. You know, like a place where even if they stop paying you, you know that I still need to do this thing. Even if I wasn't getting paid, I would be doing these things. You know, and I think I can see that. I can see some of those things in all of you. Like you just mentioned singing. Tadio, there's no world where you will stop singing. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a good starting point. That's where your thing is. I think it's then the pressures of life then pull us
Takes us
away from that.
Of course.
And I'm not trying to diminish the pressures of life, but I think we can now also be smarter about the way we tackle those other things. I think it's about, a lot of us are not keen into our problem solving abilities. Like, if you solve a problem, if you add value, you will be able to get rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't have consciousness of adding value. How are you actually adding value to other people? This is where the relationship part comes in. Adding value to other people. If you are adding value, and this is even secular business people know this, all you need to do is add value for you to get something back.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. This is part of the knowledge that I'm trying to talk about. So these are the things I think we need to be talking about on this podcast, so that people can start to live to their potential, so that we can start to build this kingdom and actually get the receipts and the fruit that we want to be getting, instead of us all just kind of being mindless drones going with the flow, paying our bills 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to stop talking.
I agree.
I wish I could do a mic drop.
Yeah, that was a mic drop moment. I agree.
Don't do it.
I agree. Well said. Well
All
said.
right, any closing remarks? We've gone massively over time. We've probably lost all of our audience, but hey.
No, we haven't. They're still riding with
Okay.
us.
A couple of them
All
are
right,
still
brilliant.
here.
We love you all. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you so much
so
for
we
sticking
got-
with us.
I know quite a few of the people that are in the chat.
Dwayne.
Oh,
right now.
Twins fans.
Yeah.
Twins fans.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you,
All right,
Dwayne's
guys.
man.
I think let's wrap that up. Let's wrap that. Let's like kind of what's one take home message from everybody.
I
Yes.
hate it when people. Why? Why?
Yes.
Getting me to
So
wrap
if you
it up.
Like literally at work, they'll be like, "Oh, we've just finished this training session. Give me a take home." Everyone says the same thing.
give us a take home message then.
Mine's the same as Tad's.
Tads, what's your take home message?
Work even harder at the hustle.
Hey, that's a good
But
take
you already said that the hustles are for money.
No.
The hustles are to get to a point so you don't have to hustle no more.
Yes.
Amen, brother.
That's why everybody hustles.
you know.
Hallelujah. Mine's to work
Jesus.
smarter.
Work,
Yeah.
by working smarter.
How about more per hour and less time?
Oh yeah. My other
If
thing
you
is
were to get the
watch
raise,
less Netflix.
Cut down your time. No.
No, but
Use
No.
my time
no,
more
but
wisely.
that's a valuable take home.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But
It's
I-
not time. It's
I could
what you
watch
do with the
Netflix.
time.
No,
Yes.
man.
Listen to an audiobook at the same time.
Wait, stop this. We're trying to encourage people. There might be some young, impressionable people on the line. Like, come on, man.
Yes. I
No,
need
yes.
to. I think I need to do more with my time as well. Yeah.
What are you saying?
Mine would be to use your time wisely to build the future that you dream of.
Mine would be to articulate myself so that the elders don't think I disrespect them, because I fully respect all of the generation that have worked hard, and I need to let them see that and not say anything that might sound like that, because I respect you guys. Thank you for your effort and everything you've done for us. Blessings. Dwayne, what's yours?
It's definitely to work smarter.
That's what she said. No, say something new. Say something new. Say something new.
Tolu, no. We're creating a new kingdom. Allow him to do what he wants to do.
I'm sorry. All right, work smarter. All right. We'll come back next week and
2 weeks time.
2 weeks
weeks.
time. I wish we could do this a weekly. You know, I enjoy talking to you guys.
It's fun.
Guys are cool peoples.
Time.
Time.
Time. We don't have the time. Time's too valuable. But this is valuable. Relationships.
It is.
Guys, I've really enjoyed being back.
Hey, welcome back. It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back.
Stream, but it's
Yeah. Tyler, can you do our outro? Tell them where to find us in that.
go on.
And thank you to everyone
everybody on the live.
Who joined? Thank
Yes.
you.
Y'all have
Yeah.
been awesome.
Yeah, you've really
Thank
rocked
you
with us
so
today.
much. Yes, you guys have really rocked with us. So yes, we are the Eden Ideal. Everything is spelt the way that it is spelt. And find us on Instagram at the Eden Ideal, Twitter at the Eden Ideal. Oh, which camera? This one?
This one here.
At the Eden Ideal. YouTube, the Eden Ideal. And yes, our website, www.theedenideal.com. And we will see you again in 2 weeks' time, same time, well, 5:30. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. And we let's continue the conversation. Meet us in the comments. And the outro? Are we doing the singing outro?
Singing outro?
No.
No singing.
Okay, bye,
No
guys.
singing outro?
Bye,
Okay,
guys.
cool.
I was
Bye.
down for a singing outro, but
Stop streaming right here, like-
Bye.
We're
Oh, we
still
got it. We're
streaming
still streaming on
IG.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, IG.
Go.